Hello, my dear students. How are you today? Righty, I hope you are fine. I am pretty good, pretty happy. So, we are going to start with your second English class. Today, we are going to start the last unit, which is Unit 7, okay? Is your final unit for Level 1. And we are going to start with simple past or past simple as in the book, all right? So let me show you what I have written for you. Let me share. All right. Now, this is going to be past simple part 1. And we will focus on was and were. Do you know the original verb for was and were? Righty, it is the verb be or to be. Okay. Now, if you want to check your book, you've got some explanation, some grammar on page 65, and you have a greater explanation on page 150. So you can go to that page. As I told you before, was and were are the two versions of the verb be in past simple. This is the conjugation you need to memorize. In this case, and only in this case, it's going to be I, he, she, it. So I is together. I, he, she, it. So which one do we use? Was or were? Think of the name of songs, okay? So it's I, was, he, was, she, was, it was, okay? So it's very common in songs that you hear. I was very happy, I was in love, very typical. Finally, for we, you, they, which one do we use? Where, okay? Be careful with where, don't confuse it with where. Where are you? Because it's written differently, but the pronunciation is the same. So you've got memorize it. I memorized this in middle school with a teacher who was practicing with us. Me lo grabé en la secundaria con un profesor que hacía sus prácticas and I memorized it very fast. So try to remember. I, he, she, it, was. We, you, they, were. One more time. I, he, she, it, was. We, you, they, were. Okay? So I was, he was, she was, it was, we were, they were, you were. Now, the translation is difficult. La traducción es difícil because in Spanish, the verb be is ser and estar. En español, el verbo be es ser y estar. Also, in simple past, we have estuve, but we can also say estaba with was. Y aparte de estuve y estaba, we can also say yo fui o yo era. So we have a lot of translations in Spanish. In English is simple, but in Spanish we have many. For example, he was can be él era, él estaba, él fue, and él fue. I think those are the three translations for he. They were, ellos eran, ellos estaban, ellos fueron, del verbo ser, and I think that's it, okay? So try to think about it, okay? Now, let's move on. You've got in the structure, esta es la estructura. You have the affirmative, you need your subject, was or were, and your complement. Since this is a copular verb, es un verbo copulativo, it always needs a complement. Bueno, no siempre, but mayormente necesita un complemento. For example, if I say I was, yo era, o yo estaba, o yo estuve, o yo fui. So in that case, falta algo. So, yo era feliz. I was happy. Yo estuve en Campeche. I was in Campeche. Yo estuve, yo fui, yo era inteligente. I was intelligent, okay? Something like that. Now, in the case of negative, you only have to use wasn't or weren't. Remember that in the verb be, we have am, is, are, and the negative is I am not, aren't, and isn't. Well, also in past. Eso se transfiere al pasado. So the negative is wasn't and weren't. We never mix don't, doesn't. Nunca lo mezclamos con un don't, con un doesn't. We never use did, didn't. Nunca, nunca, jamás lo mezclamos con un did o con un didn't, que vamos a ver. Never. Don't confuse it, okay? It's negative on, or is negated on its own. Se niega por sí solo. Now you have the interrogative. You've got was or were, plus your subject, plus your complement, and your question mark. This is your question mark. So you have was were. Hay una inversión. Igual que en el verbo bien presente. I am happy. Am I happy? You are intelligent. Are you intelligent? So lo mismo. I was happy. Was I happy? And she was intelligent. Was she intelligent? So we have to make an inversion with the verbs. Now let's do some activities together. Let's practice. You've got complete the phrases with the appropriate verb. You're going to use was, were, wasn't, or weren't. That's everything you have to do. So, happy yesterday. Okay, this is it. So the answer is, yeah, I was happy yesterday. Now, there in China 1 month ago, these expressions, let's change it to 2 because we normally say last month. So vamos a cambiar 2 months ago, hace 2 meses. This ago is hace 2 meses. It's very common with simple past or past simple. Es muy común con pasado simple. So what's the conjugation? Very easy. You have they, you have were. Okay, so they were in China. They were in China 2 months ago. How do you translate that? ¿Cómo lo traduces? Okay. Ellos estuvieron en China hace 2 meses. And also, también podría ser, ellos estaban en China hace 2 meses. Okay. The context tells you. El contexto te lo dice. But normally, ellos estuvieron es lo más común because of our level. Por el nivel en que estamos is the most common translation. Okay. Now, Juan in SAC last week. We start with our first name. Empezamos con el primer nombre. So, Juan, is it a he, a she, or an it? It's a he. It's the name of a man. So Juan was in SAC last week, or at SAC is also possible. So yeah, Juan was in SAC. Now let's move on. I'm not gonna show you this anymore, so use your memory. Reina in class on Friday, and it's negative, okay? So let's start with the affirmative, was, and let's make it negative, wasn't. Wasn't. Pronunciation, wasn't. So Reina wasn't in class on Friday. No estuvo en clase o no estaba en clase. Pokemon, and we need an accent, okay? Pokemon, and was famous when I was a child, okay? Was famous when I was a child. This is another common expression, una expresión muy común. When I was a child, cuando era niño, okay, when I was 5 years old, cuando tenía 5 años de edad, when I was 5 years old, okay? Now, I in 1985. This expression you have to memorize it. Esta hay que memorizarla. Tal vez no la entiendan al principio, pero significa nacer. So in the case, the affirmative would be was, but this is negative, wasn't. I wasn't born in, what is the number? ¿Cómo leen el número? All right, there are 2 ways. In 1985 or in 1985. 85. The most typical one is 1985. So I wasn't born, no nací. And finally, let's see an angel or ángel, ángel manzanilla or angel and pot, I think, or pot, sorry. So you've got, let's see, an angel in Chihuahua, okay? I forgot to include the born. Now it makes sense, okay? So let's say an angel, affirmative, were. Negative, weren't. So weren't born in Chihuahua. No nacieron en Chihuahua, okay? So this is the expression, just memorize it. I was born, you were born, she was born, we were born, they were born is a typical expression. Now, let's finish this with your personal answers. I will ask you, les pregunto, maybe you can close your eyes, pueden cerrar los ojos si gustan, and answer y contestar, or you can read, o pueden leer. Just try to answer a little fast. Let's practice short answers. Guys, were you in class last Friday? Let's take it in singular. Vamos a tomarlo como singular. Tú. Were you? ¿Estuviste? Yes, I was. Negative? No, I wasn't. These are the short answers. Also, you have to memorize it. Son las respuestas cortas. También hay que grabársela. Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't, etc. Now, was your father born in Campeche? Affirmative. Yes. Pronoun? He. Okay, so your father is a he. Father. Father is he. Okay. Your is possession, but father is the word. So yes, he was. Negative? No, he wasn't. Perfect. Now, was your first smartphone an iPhone? Yes or no? Alrighty. Now, your first smartphone. This is your noun, but this is what defines your pronoun. Smartphone. So smartphone is a he, she, or it. It's an it, okay? It's an object. So was your first smartphone an iPhone? Affirmative? Yes, it was. Negative? No, it wasn't. And that's it. Who was Mexico's election won by in 2018? Okay, this one is a passive voice and sentence. Voz pasiva is much more advanced, es bastante más avanzada. So I'm going to translate it to you. ¿Por quién? Empezamos con este by. ¿Por quién fue ganada la elección de México en 2018? So who was Mexico's election won by in 2018? So we need a full sentence. Acá ya tiene que ser larga because we have who, how is a WH question, ¿no? So you can answer simple. What is the name? AMLO, okay? No se complican, AMLO. But the complete sentence is it, la elección, it, the election, it was won, fue ganada by AMLO, okay? This is passive voice. This is one is special. It's much more advanced. Especial es más avanzada, okay? Now, how was your first English class at SEAL? ¿Cómo fue tu primera clase en el SEAL? It wasn't with me, no fue conmigo. Or maybe some of you, si no viniste la primera, yes, no, but it was a different teacher. So you can say, it was great. It was great, fue muy buena, and fue divertida, it was fun, and it was interesting, fue interesante, it was interesting, okay. Había otra maestra, así como vimos there is, there are para presente, also for past. So there was, hubo, another teacher, había otra maestra, okay. No sé, no vine. I don't know. I didn't come. I didn't attend. I didn't come. Pasado simple con otros verbos, okay? And finally, past simple with other verbs. And finally, who was your best friend in elementary school? Tell me the name. One or two or three, but one or two. Okay, in my case, they were, because they were two, they were Jessica and Sergio, okay? So they were my best friends in elementary school. So that's it, guys. That's everything for was and were. This is past simple and part one was were. So study a lot, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.